2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, the 29th of September, and it's coffee day. And a big happy birthday to Matt and Luke Goss, Sebastian Coe, Mackenzie Crook and Halsey. The scale of the UK's financial crisis has become clearer, with reports that pension funds would have collapsed on Wednesday without intervention. The Bank of England was forced to step in to try to calm markets with an emergency programme of buying bonds, which are effectively loans the government uses to borrow money. In a rare intervention, the International Monetary Fund urged Kwasi Kwarteng to rethink his tax cuts, warning inequality will rise in the UK. But Tory MP Sir John Redwood defended the plans.
Markets will do what markets want to do, and these are not things that governments should seek to control. Governments need to follow counter-inflation policies that work.
The government continues to believe its package of tax cuts will lead to economic growth, but Ben Zaranko, an economist at the Institute for Fiscal Studies, says the financial markets don't buy it.
The government took a major gamble last week with its plans. It's effectively betting the house on growth, and it's gambling that its package of tax cuts and some rather vague promised supply-side reforms to the economy will deliver substantially higher growth and make the sums add up.
Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer led a chorus of voices in calling on the government to scrap its plans before any more damage is done. He'd already used his conference speech to attack a budget he said favoured the rich, leaving others struggling with the cost of living. And Labour, along with the Lib Dems and SNP, are demanding Parliament is recalled to discuss the financial crisis.
This is a government that on Friday took the reckless action which lost control of the economy. And for what? To cut taxes for those who are earning hundreds of thousands of pounds.
The big question is, why did the pound plummet so quickly after the Chancellor's mini-budget? Economist Professor Jonathan Ports thinks he knows why.
Well, that's what my former Treasury colleague Dario Perkins called the, quote, moron risk premium, unquote. In other words, that the people running the British economy at the moment, the Chancellor and the Prime Minister, are so incompetent that you simply don't know what they're going to do next.
Meanwhile, Labour Deputy Leader Angela Rayner closed the Labour conference on Wednesday by criticising the Treasurer's track record and saying her party would be more competent. She also had time for a jab at Liz Truss.
Liz Truss has even crashed the pork market. Now that is a disgrace.
The EU warned on Wednesday that it will retaliate if there are any further attacks on European energy infrastructure. It came as the mystery around the apparent attacks on the Nord Stream energy pipelines continues, with Russia denying responsibility and pointing fingers at the US. Meanwhile, Ukraine's armed forces are edging closer to the eastern city of Lyman, which is held by the Russians, capturing several surrounding villages in the critical Donbass region. They're looking to shore up their gains before the new Russian conscripts arrive and will be aided by 18 more long-range HIMARS units as part of a new $1 billion US aid package. The EU's also threatening further sanctions on Russia after the so-called sham referendum results were announced. Pro-Russian officials say all 4 regions have voted to join Russia. Speaking to Sky News, Donetsk Governor Pavlo Kyrylenko had a message for all those mobilised to fight in the country.
Russians have a choice. Either come here to the territory of Ukraine, come back with bits of your body missing or be imprisoned, or rise up against the regime on the ground in Russia.
The US state of Florida has been battered overnight by a Category 4 hurricane. The storm, named Ian, hit the southwestern coast with winds of 150 miles per hour. There's been severe wind and rain across the state, with an estimated 2 million people now without power, and there may be worse to come as a storm surge of water is expected to follow the winds. Already, at least 23 people are missing. With heavy rain predicted to continue, the state's struggling with what may be the worst storm in 30 years. There were amazing scenes on social media, including this early afternoon lightning strike.
Oh my God!
Something's on fire!
Still to come on the Smart 7, why Rory McIlroy loves playing golf with his dad, and tributes to rapper Coolio. Right after this. Welcome back.
Rory McIlroy says his disappointment at St Andrews in July hasn't put him off the course. The Northern Irish golfer just missed out on victory at the Open Championship as he lost out to Cameron Smith. And as McIlroy prepares to compete in the Alfred Dunhill Links Championship, which starts at the same venue on Thursday, he told Sky Sports how special it is to be playing with his dad.
Like even just strolling around St Andrews this morning with Danny Willett and Jimmy Dunn, who's a good friend of ours as well. You just don't get to do this very often, and it's really, really nice.
I'm a Celeb's back with a star-studded lineup including some former Jungle Kings. Here we go.
Gillian McKeith, Janice Dickinson, Joe Swash, Jordan Banjo, Myling Class, Paul Burrell, Phil Tufnell, Sean Ryder, Amir Khan, Andy Wyman, Carol Vorderman, Dean Gaff, Fatima Whitbread, Georgia Toffolo and Helen Flanagan.
Whew. Winners and losers of previous series will compete on the show, which has just been filmed in South Africa. Can you guess who's who from these screams?
I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. I'm going to go for the crocodile anus, please. Did he get you? Bite you?
Yeah!
Oh, just time!
Everything is biting me!
Let's get bobbing.
What the hell are you going to chuck on me? Every time I try to even speak to you, you're like...
Oh!
It's a beautiful thing to be involved with.
No reels! Come on!
Pint of lager would be nice.
Oh, you dirty...
The death has been announced of rapper Coolio. He died at a friend's house in Los Angeles on Wednesday evening, aged 59. He won a Grammy for his hit Gangsta's Paradise and had a number of hits including See You When I Get There and Fantastic Voyage. He was part of the West Coast rap scene and tributes flowed in from Ice Cube, Vanilla Ice and more. He was also a star on Celebrity Brother in the UK, creating chaos in the house, particularly when Michelle Heaton told Tina Malone she looked like a famous movie character.
Oh my God, do you know who you look like? The princess from Shrek.
Oh,
This is... Oh my God.
His biggest legacy, of course, will be Gangsta's Paradise, which has clocked up over 1 billion views on YouTube. Rest in peace, Coolio.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone.
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day.
Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.